Hello, everyone. This is Rockman Mosby coming to you live, and we're here on the Mindset, the Mentality channel, the Money Mentality channel. A lot of us, we're got all this information about how to do this and how to do that and how to be successful. How do I earn this money? And I think a lot of times we focus on the how-tos, which is great, but I also think that we need to focus on the mentality. What type of mentality do we need to start earning money? And just to kind of give you some background about myself, I was born and raised here in Cleveland, Ohio. Just lived the life of a typical kid, didn't have much. And then I literally transformed my life by doing and following a certain principles. None of this stuff is mine. I didn't make any of this stuff up. I just started reading and following different people, and I started to apply, taking action on what they were teaching me, and then I literally seen my life change. So from people that knew me from where I started to where I'm at now, it's like night and day. It's black and white. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is a lot of times people say, well, how do I do this and how do I do that? Well, I think the first thing we need to do is just start. We got to just start somewhere. And I say start because a lot of times people, they look for everything that they can do except starting. And then I'm going to kind of give you an example, or just tell a little story of how it was easy for me to start. I just look at the risk versus reward. And I'm going to just kind of share a story about the risk versus reward because I have a friend of mine who owns property. He owns property, he sells property all throughout the United States, and then he has vacation homes as well that he sells and rents out. And he got some beautiful homes, nice, beautiful homes that he rents out. And one time my friends and I, we were at one of his homes, and we were just kind of vacationing. Us and the guys, we go there every year, and we have a good time. And we were there that time. And I mean, when I say beautiful, I mean, we got staff there with us all day. We can go do anything we want, whether we want to go snorkeling, you can go scuba diving, you can go deep sea fishing, snorkeling, anything you want to do, we can do just like that. I mean, we right in the mountains with all of these luxurious homes. Just going through the neighborhood and looking at the homes is just like something that you would see out of a movie, like a James Bond movie. So we had this nice, beautiful home. We got the beach and the water right there in front of us. And then one of my buddies decides that he wants to go and check out this waterfall because he's saying maybe this can be an attraction for some of the guys, some of the guests that comes to the house when they rent it out. Maybe that can be an attraction. And he's just kind of like an artsy guy, so he likes to go and adventure out. So he have the driver and one of the staff take us to this waterfall that's about 45 minutes out. So we go to the waterfall. Myself and 5 other friends, we take a trek to the waterfalls. And I mean, we're all up in the mountains. We're going through you can get motion sickness just by going to the waterfall, just being on your way to go there. Just to travel to get there is just kind of like, we turning and twisting and going up and down all through the mountains. And we gets there finally. And it's like, I don't know, it just looked like the place wasn't even open. It seems like it was a park from 1986 that's been abandoned since 1986. Like no one went there. So we going through the park, and I mean, you see swimming pools that you would see in people's backyard. Y'all know them plastic swimming pools that you would see in someone's backyard when, for the little kids. I mean, we walking through the park in this swimming pools, and I'm like, man, when is we going to see this beautiful waterfall? So we go, and they just like an open area. We walk through this place over a bridge that seems like it's been there, it haven't been maintenance since it was really like somebody just left this place since 1986. And we finally get to the waterfall, but before we get to the waterfall, it's a wall. And the wall got thousands of names on the wall. I mean, I ain't gonna say maybe hundreds of names, but there's a lot of names on the wall. I didn't count them. And they got all these names on the wall, and I didn't really pay any attention to it. And then the guy that was our tour and said, hey, listen, at different times of the year, the waterfall can get strong. Sometimes of the year you can stand in a waterfall and get in and there's no problem. Other times of the year, like now, it's a problem if you get into the waterfall. And I'm saying, what you mean is a problem? Well, he said, well, you can get in a waterfall. It's just if you go past a certain point, that means you die. I'm like, that means he says a high possibility that you can get caught up in the current. And I'm like, oh, really? He said, yes, because the waterfall is strong right now. So you're saying, but if you don't go far up and you just stay past, it's safe. It's safe. I'm like, all right, cool. So a couple of friends and I, we wanted to take pictures in the waterfall. And I said, listen, as long as we don't go near this area, we're fine. One of my other friends, he said, you know what? I'm not going in because he just said if you go past a certain part, you can die. Even if I'm not going past a certain part, then I'm not going into that waterfall. So we goes down in the waterfall, take pictures and everything, and no one died. But the funny part, well, it really wasn't funny. A friend of mine in the safe part went in and then got caught up in like the waterfall. It was like a part that it was like a small waterfall that, I mean, I don't know what it was. It was just current. It was a current, water current, and it was like a small fall, and he got caught up in it and almost didn't get out. We all got out. I went to a certain part and then didn't realize that it was deep. So we all went into this pool. Well, not pool, went into this waterfall, even though they said we were in a safe part, and we went in anyway. Luckily, everybody got out we were all okay when we got out. So thank God, but we got out. And when I got back out, I said, you know what? What's all these names on the wall? Just people come and they just write their names on the wall. And then the guy was like, yo, those are the names of the people who died. And I said, those are the names of the people who died? So we went into a waterfall. It got hundreds of names on them. And then I didn't even think anything of it. But that was kind of stupid on my part. And then these are the people that died. So that was the risk that I took to get into the waterfall and take pictures. I risked death. That was stupid because that's what it was. We all risked the death. We all risked death. We didn't have to risk death. We could have just said, hey, the waterfall looked good, or not even went to the place because we're on this beautiful place. We didn't even need to see that place. So I guess my friend was being adventurous and wanted to go. All right, cool. We went, we seen it. We didn't have to get in. We wanted to go in because we took it. Maybe it was because it took us a long time to get there. I don't know. We went there. So we risked what we wanted and needed, which was our life, for something that we didn't need. And we didn't need to even really get into the waterfall to take the picture. So we risked something that we need and wanted for something that we didn't need. We didn't have to take the picture. And I read that in a book. I actually got the book that I read, and it was saying that to make money that they didn't have and didn't need, they risked what they did have and did need. And that's foolish. It's just plain foolish. If you risk something that is important to you for something that is unimportant to you, it just does not make any sense. There's no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. And that's exactly what we did. We risked what we had and needed for something that we didn't have and didn't need. So I said that to say that's when we talking about starting and just starting to do something, to get on the path of going where you want to go. If the risk is, you got to look at the risk versus the reward. The reward is that we get a picture and we get a nice picture in front of the waterfall. The risk is death. I don't think that was worth the risk. In business and starting to make money, what's the risk? Most of the time you're risking you lose some money. But then you get to fight again another day. That's what you risk. You lose some money. Hey, you learn something. Well, you learn something in the process. And then as long as you don't give up, then guess what? You can try again and try another way that may work. Or maybe it worked. And then guess what? The final result is whatever the dream that you had or whatever the outcome that you anticipated, or maybe it exceeds that outcome. But at least you went and did something. A lot of times we get paralyzed and we say, should I do it? Oh, I know how to do it, but I got to get this right. I got to get that right. I got to go and do this. Well, guess what? A lot of the times that we never get started because we're so busy trying to make a decision. We're so busy wanting everything to be right. And nothing is going to never be right. I was reading a 50 Cent book and he said, you just got to start doing shit. Well, we say we got to start doing stuff. We just got to start doing stuff. You know what I mean? And you got your goal. Here you are. You see what your goal is. And then what you got to do is start moving in that direction. And you move in the direction of your goal by taking action. That's what we got to do. We just got to start and take some type of action. And then when you take action, then the risk could be worth the reward. A lot of times when a person's starting off with nothing, what are you risking? I mean, if 20 days 2 years is happening anyway. 5 years is coming anyway. So if you didn't have any money now, if you don't do anything in 5 years, what is it going to look like? That's kind of how I look at it. But if you're doing something unethical, we know you're risking your freedom. A lot of times, with us, you may be risking getting laughed at, or risking, people not agreeing with you. Maybe you lose some friends. And then you got to say, am I willing to get laughed at because I have an idea that's stepping out that's outside of what we're normally doing? And if you really know the risk that to get, I don't mind getting laughed at. Maybe I'll laugh with you. So that's what we can do to create a better life for ourselves. But I say, the first thing we got to do is start. And when you start, and if you're having a problem starting, then you want to look at the risk versus the reward. How do you get past the risk versus reward? All right, look at your life and just ask yourself, what am I risking? All right, I'm risking getting laughed at. I'm risking, losing the money that I'm going to put up. All right, what if you have, how much is that? Well, maybe it's just $500. Are you willing to lose that $500? Maybe it's $10,000. Are you willing to lose the $10,000? You have to decide that. Maybe you just risking time and effort. Maybe it's a lot of sweat equity that you got to put in. Maybe that's the risk. But you got to look at the risk versus reward. And then most of the time, if you do nothing, you're going to be in the same place. And you don't want to go, when you're on your deathbed, said, I should have did this, I should have did that, I should have did this, I could have did that. We don't want to get to that point. So I just wanted to kind of share that story with you guys, and was saying, I don't think that risking death is, if you got to risk death, don't do it. But if you're risking, getting laughed at, or if you're risking something that's not death, or maybe you lose some money, or you lose some time, maybe you learn something in the process. Whatever you can perceive as negative, you can learn something from it. So maybe you be better equipped for the next time. Or guess what? Maybe whatever you sought out after, it actually works, and then you exceed what you planned out to accomplish, or you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish. And a lot of times that's a better life, a better just overall life for yourself. So I just want to say, I hope that helped someone. It helped me just evaluate my life, like what's the risk versus reward. And when I can look at it like that, it's not hard for me to start anything. So if you like what I shared with you, just stay tuned for the videos and hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and you guys have a great day.